You're tuned in to the Keetria Show and listening to SOB, Style of Business, the podcast with your host, Keetria. We aim to highlight the ongoing trek of entrepreneurs and business owners from around the globe, featuring stories that recount their struggles, experiences, and inevitable road to success and self-fulfillment. Welcome to SOB.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in for another wonderful episode of SOB Style of Business. I'm your host, Keetria, back again with another phenomenal guest. Just an overall inspirational. I'm so happy that we were able to grab this lady and have her to come on the podcast and speak with us. I'm extremely honored to be speaking with Dr. Venus Opal Reese, the Millionaire Mentor. She is the CEO and creator of Defying Impossible, and yes, I did, and that's extra. She's the author of one of her latest releases, the book titled The Black Woman Millionaire, a Revolutionary Act that Defies Impossible. Dr. Venus, thanks so much for being a guest with us today. We truly appreciate it. Let's get started with a brief... Yay! Hey, wave your hands side to side. Let's. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, absolutely. We want to start with a brief introduction, and then let's just jump right in, and we'll just see where the boat floats.
Okay, no worries. So, a brief introduction. Well, let me say this: my life is a miracle. Literally, I never imagined in my wildest dreams that I would be featured in Forbes, that I would be featured in Essence, Ebony. I mean, never saw that coming. I never saw myself being able to get out of high school, let alone get 4 degrees, including a PhD from Stanford. That was not the trajectory I was on. By the time I was 16, I was living on the streets of Baltimore, eating out of trash cans and sleeping in urine and beer. My mama had put me out of her house, and things weren't okay there, so I never went back. A lot of violence, a lot of negativity. And it was my 9th grade math teacher, a Black woman, and that counts. She was the one who intervened. She's the person who literally saved my life. It was because of her love, her what I call tangible love, her tangible support, that I'm alive and that I'm well. She was able to show me a whole new possibility for my life. And because of her love, I eventually graduated from Stanford with a second master's and a PhD. I was able to take all the survival that kept me alive on the streets and got me through my education and turn it into a system that fast-tracked my company, Defying Impossible, to the $1 million mark in just under 3 years. We've grossed well over $4 million in the last 5 years, and we're on track to more than double that this upcoming year. And the truth of the matter is that it all has everything that I've ever done. Let me say it like this: I don't make money; I manifest millions.
Oh wow! Yeah.
And there's a difference. There's a difference, and it all comes down to healing your heart. So I firmly believe that when you take on healing your heart, you actually make room to receive the bounty, the prosperity, the abundance that is your divine and historical birthright.
Yeah, and that's, you know what, and that we have a whole nother podcast discussion on that topic alone. So I'll leave that for another time. But I have, I've definitely been taken aback by a lot of your story, just kind of figuring out how you were able to get to this point. And I got to tell you, it's truly incredible, because just like your company, Defying Impossible, most of the time, some of us are not able to do it. So that's a blessing in itself. Yeah, and
I concur.
Yes, ma'am. And so I want to discuss your recent success. You've had plenty, but let's talk about Defy Impossible. I know you guys just celebrated the 5th anniversary, and you have multiple different projects and businesses and things like that. I know you do seminars and panels and all that good stuff. But what's the inspiration behind being able to create a business that focuses on helping others reach their potential? Because you could very well be about self. So what?
Thank you for that. I never thought of it.
Well, yeah, it's true.
Thank you. No, I love you back, baby. No, I never even thought of it that way. It's a great question, and no one's ever asked me. So let me try. Because my background was so extreme, it took something just to get well, right? And it wasn't me. I've had a lot of support. I believe in investing in myself. I mean that from business to personal to wellness. And I called my company Defy Impossible because anything's possible, but you're going to have to defy what you believe you can't have or do. And because I was raised to believe I was stupid, that I'm dumb, I'm ugly, nobody wants me, I'm throwawayable, I didn't believe anybody would want me. So when I was working as a tenured professor, I've closed a show off Broadway. I'm an award-winning playwright, award-winning poet, and a tenured professor. So I was teaching at the university here in Texas. And the way that teaching works, if you're doing it as a career, there's this thing called tenure. It's job security for life. It's like the corporate ladder for academics. Well, I was climbing my academic corporate ladder, and there's a series of votes that happen in order for you to secure that job security for life. And one of those votes comes from your faculty. Now, I was the only
oh, wow.
the only Black. I was every only in the school of 400, right? I was the only one. So when it came time to vote for me, the majority of my faculty voted against me. And it broke my heart. It reminded me, I had the same physiological reaction that I had when Mama put me out. My chest contracted. I couldn't breathe. I got nauseous. I got dizzy. I started to cry uncontrollably. It was just a whole thing. And I was walking across campus trying to breathe, and I got into a street fight with myself on my behalf. And the street fight sounded something like this. Venus, they don't want you. Stop trying to make people want you. Stop trying to make people love you. Mama didn't want you. She didn't love you. They don't want you. They don't love you. Okay, I want you. God wants you. Now let's go find people who do. And that was the defiance. The defiance wasn't external. The defiance was fighting against all of the negativity that I truly believed about myself. And when I took on getting around people who valued me, within a week I had a free talk in front of a group of white male CEOs, a round table, and I could hear that they were all lying. Now, where I come from, game recognizes game. I know what street means in Stanford, so y'all should prepare it. Now, really, people think that I have because they hear Dr. Venus, they think I traffic in the ethos of respectability. There's no such thing for me. I'm more street. Look, I am multilingual. I speak fluent street, okay? I speak conversational college,
Exactly.
I speak fluent Black. I speak competent, corporate, but I'm fluent in street, babe. Don't get twisted. And so I have to keep it ready for me. And so so when I come from the street, so I can tell when someone's lying. It's what kept me alive. I can hear what you're not saying. It was the mechanism, it was the capacity that kept me alive on the street. So when I was in the room with the white fellas and they were saying, I'm fine, you're fine, I'm great. I'm like, no, you're not.
Something's wrong.
And then I went around the room. Well, people lie. Yeah. And like I said, game recognizes game. So one guy said to one of the men, said, you're a functioning alcoholic. And then I went to another person and said, you're sleeping with somebody in your office.
Oh,
then I went to another person and said, your kid hates your guts. Then I went to another and said, your wife is ready to divorce you. And because the game recognizes game.
Yeah.
Do you understand? You cannot be a person from the streets and survive the street and not learn how to hear what people are not saying.
Yeah.
And so by the time I went around the room, the whole group hired me. They asked me what my rate was. I didn't have a rate, but I needed money for the summer because I was on a 9-month contract. So I set them out, and then I ran to the back of the room because I was afraid no one was going to. I would have taken anything they gave me.
Yeah.
I would have taken whatever they gave me. But when I finally looked up, I saw each of them, I think it was 10 or 12 of them at the time, each of them writing individual checks for the amount I had mentioned. I made more money in that one day than I did as a professor in a whole year.
That's ridiculous, yeah.
And so I know. That is what I was like, what? And that's when I realized there's two different kinds of money. There's self-esteem money. That's the money you would pay you. That's the money you would allow you to have, based on your own opinions, your feelings, and thoughts, and your lived experience of yourself. Then there's self-worth money. This is the money the market would pay you for the value you bring. I never imagined that people would pay me money to curse them out and tell them the truth. And the thing I didn't understand was white male CEOs, they're used to having yes men around. They're not used to someone who will tell the truth. And to have someone who will tell you the truth is priceless. And so they were my first group, and they carried me for 2 years. They kept sending me business, and it gave me the chance to really start to understand that people will pay me for what I know, not what I do. And a lot of times, if you're a woman or a person of color, you're taught to bring in money for what you do, from your time, from standing on your feet, from having a brick and mortar. That's a working class mentality.
Yeah.
That's not money. That's slavery. And so I created Defying Impossible because I knew I wanted to tell Nana, thank you for saving my life. I would not be here if there had not been somebody who loved me enough to see who I could be long before I could say it. She held space for me, and she taught me. She's my teacher, she's my mentor, and she's my mom. So I wanted to be for the people for whom I'm the answer to their prayers. I want to be for you, who Nana has been for me. And that's your champion.
Exactly.
Everyone is a champion. And that's how come I created Defying Impossible. Great questions. And thanks for asking.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, and I appreciate you opening up and giving us that explanation. I've been reading in the book, and I'm going to tell you that story where you went to school and Nana kind of stood up and defended you. I don't know who those kids were, but I was upset with them for the teasing because you have those situations where, kids are still getting teased and things like that. So I don't know when or where she came into play, but I know she apparently made a tremendous impact. So we definitely want to thank her. And speaking of from that point and moving on, you go to Stanford, you got your first set of clients, you get your company and everything up and off the ground. So you have been in this entrepreneurship trek for some time. You have the experience and the knowledge.
8 years. Yeah, 8 years. 8 years this past October. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Congratulations on that. So how have you, though? I have got to ask, how have you been able to navigate? Because you got to do speaking engagements, you got your training classes, you got the mentoring, you creating products and services.
Well,
busy.
I have a great team.
There you go.
No,
okay.
I have a great team. I don't navigate. I got a team.
Okay. Okay.
No. I don't navigate. I have a team. I have a team of bosses. I have a team of people who believe what I believe, who believe in what I stand for, and who have a giver's heart, right? So let me go back a couple of steps. I offer, people can work with me in a number of ways. They can either work with me virtually online, because I have online webinars and teleseminars, or they can come meet me on tour. I tour each year. This upcoming year, I have some new hotness that I'm about to drop. It's blowing my mind. It's getting cooked, so I'm going to wait on it. I have live events. No, it's hot. It's blowing my mind. I'm like, God, are you certain? Are you serious? God, are you really? Is that what we're doing? This? God, like, my name is God. Your name is Bean. Okay, God. Yes or no, I talk to God like God is a black man who just got out of jail.
Yeah. So
you got to get used to that. You got to get used to my flow, because, look, I curse, I cry, and I praise, sometimes in the same breath. I'm on my best behavior because I'm on somebody else's platform. But if you come over to my virtual campus, you're there. This is my tribe's called Repeat
Oh, my goodness. I love it.
So it's a lot. I love you for loving me, but it's part of how I'm built. And so my team, they empower my leadership. And I have people around me who do things that I am not good at. I only do my genius at this point. Now, when I started, I played all the positions. Okay? But now I only do my genius. So the key to it is when I'm doing events, Linda does my events. If I'm doing online stuff, that's my Defying Impossible core team. Okay? If I need support with copy, I have a copy team. For my latest iteration, for my rebrand, for my TV show and all the stuff that's coming from the LA scene, I have a stylist. I don't dress me, she still dresses me. I have someone who does my hair. I don't do my hair anymore. I can't do it. That's why I have them. Yeah. I have makeup artists. I have a team. I have a fucking tribe. So there's nothing I'm doing that is me. And it's 8 years in the game. So you can't look at it from that perspective. So what I would say is, when you're starting, pick one thing. Pick one thing that makes money. Just one. And do that until you have no choice but to grow. Like when I first started, I know I was doing for 2 years, I lost all my money. I mean, I really didn't know what I was doing. And then my third year in business, I hired a mentor. I invested in a mentor who knew stuff. Someone I could respect, someone I could trust, someone who had a proven track record, okay? And in that year, I made my first $165,000. I did my very first event. And I realized that I really enjoy being with people. And so I started to shift my model to be an online and offline model. And so then I went from focusing on everybody and just focusing on Black women. And I focused on Black women for 5 years. okay, and loved it, and still do to this day. And that's where I made my first $5 million. Okay, now as I evolve, and this is just my walk, I'm really taking on my father. Now, if you read the book, The Black Woman Millionaire, you can go to the blackwomanmillionaire.com or Amazon and find it. There's one that has cursing in it and one doesn't. If you don't want to hear all my cursing, if you don't want to hear the street language, get the standard version.
I got the explicit.
I curse.
Yes.
I just want to know they have options for all my Christian folks or my corporate. You don't have to listen to me talk smack. You can read the standard edition. Same concepts, just no curse. But when you read the book, you'll know that I talk about my birth mother a bit and how I got on the street. I don't talk about my father because I never met him. And now, as I'm maturing, as I'm evolving, I'm really contending with, there was a Black man who fought for my life before I was born. And I never said thank you. I never saw him. I don't know his name. And as I heal the wound of my father, what's been arising, it was been manifesting in my space, in my sphere of influence, in my clearing, are Black men who fight for me. So it's fascinating. Yeah. So the more I heal, the more Black men are showing up. And they may have always been there. I just couldn't see them because I didn't know I was wounded about the absence of my father. But as I take on healing that, I'm really being with, wow, there are Black men who are good men, but they don't know they're loved. They don't know they're loved. They don't even know who they are for us. And they have wounds. There's a historical wound for Black women, which is we have a historical wound around being heard, being honored. There's a historical wound around Black men, which is being respected, being thought well of. And when those wounds talk, they're historical wounds, not personal, so we can't get past that wound, right? And I'm taking on with my women, with my repeat offenders, is this. What if we took on healing ourselves so completely that our men healed through us?
Never thought of that.
And I'm taking that shit on. I'm for real for it. I know, me too. Because as far as I'm concerned, civilization started in Africa, and that's no slam to anybody. And I believe that Black women, we are pure power. And that doesn't equal any other race woman isn't. I think, to me, we're all related. We're all sisters. So you came from the same mama, for I'm concerned, right? Yeah. And so, my point, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, to me, it's all the same to me. It's all going to come back to God.
Yeah.
But what I'm really being with is when we take on really healing, we won't react to their wounds.
Oh, wow.
Did you catch that?
Oh, yeah. That's extremely powerful. Yeah.
That's what I'm moving into. So I'm actually really, really being with standing for Black men, knowing they're loved and being empowered to win, to manifest millions with us, not in spite of us. And it's just an ode to my father. And that's where I am now. I'm just fresh. I'm moving into it. I haven't done it yet, so I don't know when this is going to air, so don't hold me to it. You know, but in the rebranding with the Dr. B brand, I'm really being with, really, how do I love a man who fought for me but never came to see me? How do I help him know, even if I never see him, how do I help him know he's loved? How do I help us heal such that the historical wound of us being separate gets mended? That we don't have to tear each other down. You know, and so I'm just being with it. That's just where I am in my own spiritual evolution. And so I think that when it comes to defying impossible, it really is an internal thing. And I want to be clear, I didn't start moving toward this until I had maxed out. I have done everything I can do in terms of Black women. Now I'm just doing more of the same. Yeah. But it excites me to expand to include Black men. And at some point, it will expand to include different races that have cultural trauma. Yeah. My research with Stanford is healing historical trauma. And so, like, Jewish women have a cultural trauma. You know, just like German women have a cultural trauma. Just like women of Asian ancestry, they have a cultural trauma that impacts their money. And I haven't done it yet because I hadn't evolved. Yeah. I'm evolving now, and right now I want to tend to our men for a minute. I want to love on them, and I want us to heal to the degree that we don't react to their wounds, because there's not a lot of space for Black men to be self-reflective, unless it's jail. Well, okay? Yeah, of course, yeah. So, I mean, but that's only when you think about all the people who came out of Black men came out of jail who did some major shit because they had the time to think. They didn't have to generate or defend. If you got a target on your back, you worry about the police shooting you. There's not a lot of room to create. Exactly. And so, if we're the most educated group in North America, women of color, okay, then there's something that we know that we're not sharing. And I don't mean the education, I mean the navigation through the systems. That is taught. So there are things that I'm being with, like I can navigate any social system. I learned it on the streets. but I hadn't taken on Black men until now. So I'm being with that, Key. I'm really breathing through it. I'm letting God guide me on it. And I don't have it all worked out, but I know it's strong on me. I can feel the weight of it, and I can feel that it's what energetically Spirit is saying. I was built for this. And I listen to the call. Like I wait for God to tell me what to do. My business plan is I'm God guided, and I pick one thing and I do it fully with everything I got until it monetizes, until it's scalable, and then I expand. I do not try to do everything. So to your question about how do you do it all, you don't do it all. You do one thing at a time well, and then you build your team. Once you build your team, then you scale. Once you scale, you expand. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does. Yeah, and I love what you said, team of bosses. So you're not sitting up delegating and all that other stuff, which obviously makes it easier. Dr. Venus, let me backtrack a little bit. I know you have gotten into a lot of, maybe one or two of the questions that I had for the book, The Black Woman Millionaire. And I guess that's why I haven't finished reading it, but I'm enjoying what I've read because it's practical. But then too, like the title, I was figuring that it would be, I don't know what I thought it was going to be, but what I'm reading is something far different. And the reason why I say that is because you take a different approach. I mean, of course, as you know, you got the standard version, you got the explicit version, you're doing all Dr. Venus with no filter. But the way that you're going into the cultural consciousness and the history of Black women, and you're kind of digging deep in it as to where when somebody kind of first hears the Black Woman Millionaire revolutionary act that defies impossible, they might think, oh, okay, let me figure out how I can build my empire like Dr. Venus. But really, you're kind of giving them some practical steps to where they can obviously build a business from healing and stuff. But you really kind of dig deep and kind of show us where the problem starts, right?
Of course. Well, let's just talk about it. So the Black Woman Millionaire, I can see that if you look at the cover, it's a picture of a beautiful Black woman, full lips, full nose, just glorious, the dark-skinned sister, with no eyes. So it could be any one of us, all right? And that's intentional. That's why we have that cover. And it's not about becoming a millionaire. It's not about making millions. It's not it's not a finance book. It's not an investment book. It's not a how to, get an angel investor, how to find. It's not that kind of book. It's a revolutionary act. The revolutionary act is you healing yourself so completely that you allow yourself the permission to prosper. See, the money, this is the thing that people don't understand. Money is an energetic exchange. It is not the tender we touch. It's not the, hey, baby, my puppy's coming to love on me. It's not the cowrie shell it used to be. It's not the paper. It's not the coin. It's not the gold nugget. It's not the heifer. It's not the cow. It's not the horse.
Yeah.
Different times in history, money meant other things, right?
Right.
But if you just think about the history of North America, slavery, just use an example, because we could have talked about apartheid, colonialism, we could have talked about Black nationalism, we could have talked about the Holocaust. It's still the same thing in terms of the impact. The North American chattel slavery really did for North America specifically, but for the world in general. The energetic exchange was the Black female body as the labor force for free labor. That's an energetic. So for every piece of cotton that's picked, that's energy being expelled.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for every bit of sugar cane that was cut down in the West Indies, somebody took the time and energy to cut that cane. That's an energetic exchange. You cut the cane, there's some kind of exchange in which something gets given back. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So money is an energetic exchange. It's not what you do. All right? So if money is an energetic exchange, that means money is energy. It's the same as neutrons, protons, electrons, right? It's the same stuff that we're made of in terms of the universe, in terms of trees and stars. So we're literally spiritual beings having a human experience, as far as I'm concerned. And that's not mine, it's not Michael Beckwith. And so if we're energy, then that means that in order for energy to manifest in material form, like this computer that you and I have, was once an idea in the mind of God. And somebody was a sufficient condition for that idea in the mind of God to come into material form. Whether it's the chair you're sitting on or the lamp in your house, whether it's this Apple computer, it was already in the ethos. And it found the right condition called Steve Jobs. And it got manifested, right? And so if you understand that everything is energetic, it's energy, then the logical question is, well, hell, how do I manifest?
Exactly.
Let me tell you. Simple and easy. No, it's not easy, but it's simple. Energy needs a conduit in order for it to manifest in material form. So if you are interested in becoming a millionaire, the conduit through which you will have to move the energy that's in the mind of God for the dreams that animosity, numbness, then spirit can't move through you. It can't manifest nothing. All you can do is make things happen. And the limitations of your vision will always slow down and block your money. Because spirit can move things quicker, faster, easier than you can even imagine. And if you look in your life, you've already had it happen. You just didn't know how to do it on purpose. Okay? So manifesting. So when I talk about the revolutionary act, it's a ballsy move to say, you know what, the person you said was stupid. The person you said wasn't shit. The person you said would never make it now writes the check. The revolutionary act, you gave yourself the permission to write the check. The money is the easy part.
All I can tell y'all is grab the book. At this point, just grab the book. Because I let me stop while I'm ahead, because I always do this. I really get deep in thought while the guest is speaking, and I want to go into this other direction of questions. But we'll save this for some other time. Now, as we wrap up, or before we wrap up, there's one last question that kind of speaks to your point about, how a lot of people feel as if, they can work harder, do 40 hours a week, or just do more work or do an extra job to be able to get the money, really when all it is, like you said, was energy. How do they get stuck? Like, how is it that people get stuck year after year in these unfulfilling positions, these career situations, even if it's a relationship?
They give up on themselves. They give up. You and I have given up. I promise you, if you look in your life, you can see that when you were a kid, you had big dreams. You could see anything. You're like, I could do this. I could be Superman. I don't know, whatever, right? And then life happens. Life breaks your heart, or at least it broke mine. And something happened. You had a bad marriage, or something happened in your family, or someone died, or you lost a kid, or someone used you, or someone stole from you, or someone violated you. Whatever happened, happened. And you backed down for life. You backed down. And you started to cut deals with life. You started to settle. You started to play safe and be small. At least I did. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
And so what ends up happening is you start settling for what seems safe, what looks like you can manage, but you're down the inside. And you stop dreaming. And you stop believing. And you stop hoping. And you start trafficking like this stamp-sized pool of possibility. You start to just get by and walk around living a mediocre life because you're too afraid to try. That's how it happens. Now, if you want out, you have to invest in yourself. You have to get a guide. You have to get a mentor or a tutor or a coach or a catalyst or a consultant. And be great. It doesn't have to be me. I talk too much smack. But you have to be able to get somebody. And you can start with books. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to invest at the highest level as you're starting, but you have to get some new data in. You have to get some new tools. You can start with the Black Woman Millionaire book. You can start with, I have a free gift I want to give you just in case you want to get to know me. You can start with the Get Money training, right? It is a free gift, a $3,500 value. It's 3-hour audio and a 18 to 21 page workbook. This shows you how to bring in money with the skills you already have, and then do it.
Yeah. You have to do it.
How to do it, right? And that way, so you have to build up credibility with yourself. I'm in my 40s now. I've been doing my thing since I was on the streets.
Yeah.
So I got a little more time in the game. So you can't measure like my measure. That'd be like trying to measure me against Oprah. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. But what you can take a note page from our playbook, which is start where you are. Get around people who are going where you want, who already are where you want to go. Okay, just get in the room. One of the biggest I believe in getting in the room with people because there are things you can learn when you're in the room that you can't learn from a book.
Right.
But if that's where you are, do the book. If you can't do the book, do the blog. If you can do the blog, then come see me on tour. If that works for you, come see me at one of my live 3-day events. So there's plenty of ways, but you have to take on you. You have to get in a street fight with yourself on your own behalf, the same way you fight for your child's education.
Absolutely. Love it. You guys, y'all have heard it from Dr. Venus. I'll be sure to post everything on the show notes, guys, and we are going to give it to her.
Let me do one more thing because I want to my gift because I want to make sure because there may be some people who may be listening now or later that may want to benefit. So I believe in dating before I get married, and I think that's a very good thing to do. So if you want to date me virtually as your mentor, go to www.defyingimpossible.com/gift. That's where the Get Money training is. It'll put you on my list, so you'll get a lot of my complimentary trainings and teachings. And I'm also on social media, Instagram, Facebook. I do lives. So feed you on a regular basis, but you got to get started. So go get the gift, okay, and go get the book if you want to really jump in and really drive quicker. Okay. And I just want to say one more thing to our host. I want to thank you so much for allowing me on your platform. Thank you for letting me be myself, Key, and thank you for who you are for us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for who you are for us, that you would make room for us, and that you would give us as guests the opportunity to let our voices be heard. I don't take it lightly. And I want you to know that as your sister in success, I love you, I respect you, I appreciate and I admire you for who you are for the world.
Oh,
Ashe.
Thank you so much, Dr. Venus. I truly appreciate it. And thanks again for taking the time to speak with us today. We look forward to having you back somewhere in the future, and we'll continue to follow your wonderful success as always. So you enjoy your day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for hanging out with us here on SOB. We hope this episode has been resourceful. If you'd like to check out the latest articles or follow Keetria's website updates, just log on to Keetria.com or follow her on Twitter at KEETRIA.